Bill, I'm going to compare your swing to Grant Waite, who was a tour player during the 90s and considered by many as having one of the best swings in golf. He's now one of the top instructors of tour players. First, I'm going to look at your iron swing, and I'm going to begin at the impact position, which is the most important. Everything the golf ball does, how far it goes, how high it goes, how much it spins and curves, is a direct response to the laws of physics and motion that exist at the moment of impact. Those laws are simply a direct response to the club's position on the golf ball at impact. And the club's position is a direct response to the body's position at impact. And everything you do prior to impact has the sole purpose of arriving at a fundamentally sound impact position. Your golf swing is going to produce so much energy and so much club hit speed. And in order to have the most efficient transfer of that club speed to create the maximum amount of ball speed, you must hit the ball solid. And you must hit the ball before you hit the ground. You want to be able to hit the ball on the center of the club face and then hit the ground. You do want to have a little bump of the ground. You want to have a little divot in front of the golf ball. That's what every pro on tour does. This picture illustrates how the pros will hit down on the golf ball and hit the ground after contact. This player hit a series of golf balls on the white line, and every divot is in front of the line, and the line is still undisturbed. So you want to hit the ball first and the ground second. The pros accomplish the task of putting the low point of their swing in front of the golf ball by doing two critical things. One is that they make sure that the majority of their weight is on their front foot at the moment of impact. The average pro will have 85% of their weight on their left side at impact. But you can see how you are leaning back quite a bit. And so the center of your body mass is really behind the golf ball. The low point of your swing is behind the golf ball. The second thing the pros do in order to place the low point of their swing in front of the golf ball is they make sure that their hands are in front of the golf ball at impact. And they have a shaft lean towards the target. You can see how Grant's hands are in front of the impact and his shaft is leaning back, or his hands forward. He has his shaft leaning towards the target. This allows him to have an attack angle that's down into the golf ball. This allows him to hit the ball before he hits the ground so he can get maximum transfer of his club speed into the golf ball. When you come in and have impact with a vertical shaft and your hands right on top of the golf ball, then you're coming in too shallow, and that's going to cause thin hits and fat shots. And you're not going to have that consistent, solid compression of the golf ball. Compressing that golf ball is what you want to do in order to maximize the ball speed from your club speed. So in order to change your ball flight and improve your ball flight, we need to change your club's position at impact. In order to change your club's position at impact, we need to change your body's position at impact. Now let's look at some of the positions prior to impact that either help or hinder your ability to arrive at a better impact position. Here we are at the beginning of the swing, the setup, what we call the one position. And the first thing I want to point out is you set up with a shaft lean and your hands are in front of the golf ball at the beginning. This is the same that Grant does. Grant does the same thing. So that's very good. The second thing that I like is that the radius of your golf circle basically is the length of this arm, and the length of the shaft forms the radius of your golf circle. And you have a nice straight line. You don't have any crooked angles here. So you're in a really good setup here in terms of your left arm. It's nice and extended, and it's in line with the shaft, and it's leaning forward. So that's very good. Now, Grant has about 55% of his weight on his left side at the address position. You are certainly more weight on your left side than you were at impact at the start. You'll recall your head was more towards this back corner of the rectangle, and that you had fallen backwards at impact and had even more weight on your right foot than you do at the setup. So you do have more weight towards your left foot at the address position than you do during impact. But you do have, it appears from this view, that you might still set up with a little bit more weight on your right foot than your left foot. Now, I'm going to go through your swing and look for a few things to work on. I'm not going to identify every missing fundamental in your golf swing. I only want to cover those things that I want you to work on first. Here we are in the 3 position. This is when the left arm is parallel to the ground. You've got a nice extension in your left arm, and you've hinged your wrist up, so you kind of have this right angle right here, which is very good. What's clear to me is that one of the central first things that we need to adjust in your golf swing is we need to have you develop a stable axis to swing around. You can see here how you have swayed to the right quite excessively. You've got a huge amount of your body weight now on your back foot. Therefore, your low point has moved way behind the golf ball. And so you've added a complexity to your golf swing that's going to be almost impossible to be consistent with. You're never going to get that low point back in front of the golf ball because you've moved so far off the ball that you're never going to have enough time to move your golf circle back up to the golf ball. You can see how Grant is, as he takes the club back, he actually increases his weight on his left foot more than he had at the beginning of the swing. He has no movement to the right leg. A lot of people believe that by shifting to the right, you increase club head speed, and the reality is, the truth is, you lose club head speed when you do this, because you've taken the club off the circle, and you've lost all the ability to have circular momentum deliver the club to the golf ball. I want you to have a swing that gives you maximum amount of ball speed with less effort, not more effort. The swing I want you to develop is what I call a stable axis swing pattern. There are many tour players who are starting to adopt this swing pattern, and it is something that has been changing in the tour players in the last several years. Some of the notable tour players who have adopted this swing: Hunter Mahan, who's won twice this year; Justin Rose, who's won once; and now Tiger Woods, who's now won once. All of these players have adopted this stable axis swing pattern. Others are Daniel Summerhays, Brian Gay, Charles Howell III. There's a lot of top players. Sean O'Hare's another one. There's a lot of players who are recognizing now that the sway to the right is an inefficient way to hit the ball, and that they want to have a single axis off that left leg and stabilize their circle, not let their circle move. And that way they can set the low point from the ball at the beginning and just keep it there throughout the swing. That makes it very consistent to hit the ball and arrive at impact every time. This 9th position is when the right arm is kind of parallel to the ground and the hand is kind of even with the shoulder. You can see how Grant has his arm, both arms still extended. The elbows are close to each other. They're not separating. His wrists are crisscrossed. His left hand is underneath the right hand, and yours is above it here, and you can see how your elbows are separating. You can see how Grant's right pocket here has turned and is almost over his left foot, and your right pocket is still way behind your left foot. And that's your left arm, what we call a chicken wing position, is flying up off your chest, and a lot of that's because you're not able to turn your right side into the left side because you're not on top. You need to have your anchor, you need to have your axis on the left side in order to turn the right side to it. And because you're still flat-footed on the back foot here, you're not able to get off that foot so that you can turn around your left leg. So my goal for you is to reshape the backswing, which will in turn then reshape the follow-through.